Great. So very excited to kick us off today. I'm going to pass the mic over to our host, Mindbody President and Chief Technology Officer, Sunil Rajasekar.
All right, thank you, Bailey. First off, thanks to all the attendees for taking the time to be here today. We have two objectives for the session today. One is learning, and two is ideation. So my goal is at the end of this meeting that all of you leave with some ideas, tangible ideas that you want to try out in your business in order to accelerate and strengthen your business even further. So my name is Sunil Rajasekar. I'm the Mindbody President and Chief Technology Officer. I've been with Mindbody for over 3 years now, and I've been in Silicon Valley for over 20 years, longtime techie. I've worked at companies like eBay and Intuit. I do consider it a privilege to be here at Mindbody at this time and to work in the industry that we do and to partner with all of you. I am also very happy to welcome three of our esteemed guests. They are industry experts, people I look to get insights on how things are going in the industry and where things are going. So I would love for them to introduce themselves. Garrett, why don't I hand it over to you?
Thank you, Sunil. My name is Garrett Ewers. I am the Chief Operating Officer and Vice President of Rejuve Medical and Rejuve MedFit. At Rejuve Medical, we are an integrated health facility that has combined medical fitness, non-surgical orthopedics, regenerative medicine, physical therapy, functional medicine, the whole complete realm of wellness all into one. And we've been using Mindbody for going on, I think, 9 years now, and I've been with Rejuve for about 8 years doing this.
Awesome. Teresa, over to you.
Hello, my name is Teresa Zanardelli. I've been in the fitness industry for about 20 years. I'm a yoga instructor and a former yoga studio owner, and I've been in the consulting world now for a few years now. I'm the owner of Teresa Z Consulting, and I provide business coaching, technical services, and sales and retention strategies to wellness and fitness businesses using Mindbody software.
Thank you, Teresa. Leah?
Hi, guys. First of all, thanks so much for having me. I'm Leah Seacrest. I've been in the fitness industry for 29 years now. I'm really dating myself. Started when I was 16 years old, worked myself through the ranks as a aerobics instructor all the way up to the position that I sit now, which is Vice President of Operations and Fitness for Regimen Fitness. We are a boutique fitness concept, a HIIT training studio that offers 3 formats, Burn, Box, and Build. We have over 17 locations, including franchises, licenses, with 4 of those being part of the Good Life Fitness facilities in Canada. So thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. A lot of experience and expertise across the 3 of you, and appreciate you taking the time to share that openly with the broader community. Okay, so here's how the next hour is going to unfold. So I'm planning on spending 10 to 15 minutes and just walk you through some of the highlights from the Mindbody Wellness Index. And then we are going to have 30 minutes of panel time, so with Garrett, Teresa, and Leah. And then we will have around 10 minutes for open Q&A. And like Bailey said, please use the Q&A widget to start adding your questions, and then we'll come back around and make sure that we cover all your questions. Okay? All right, so the Mindbody Wellness Index. I guess the first question is, why do we do it? And the answer is, we do it because we know that consumer sentiment is fickle and things change pretty quickly. And as a wellness industry, it's really important that we know what's happening out in the consumer world, what these trends are, where things are going, what people have on their minds, so we can adjust our strategy and our direction based on what we're hearing back from consumers. So that's why we do this. This is one of the largest such studies in the industry. We've been doing it for 4 years now. We had over 16,000 respondents in the last survey, and we do target the 50 largest cities. So we get feedback from all over the country. And we target folks who are aged between 18 and 65. And this ran towards the end of last year for 3 weeks. So it's pretty recent. So we are going to get to learn more about what's top of mind for consumers. Okay, so if there is one takeaway that you take from all of this, it is that the definition of wellness is expanding. It is changing dramatically. It always changes, but I do think the pandemic has had a pretty big impact, and the definition has expanded quite dramatically in the past couple of years, and even more so in the last year. There was a time where I think folks equated wellness to just physical fitness. And now wellness has taken on a much broader definition. It's about mental wellness. It's about spiritual wellness. It's about intellectual wellness. And it's about mental health. So it has taken a much broader definition, especially recently. So when you talk about key trends, I mentioned mental wellness just now. Mental wellness has become increasingly important. I think all of us can relate to this after the 2 years that we've had and the level of isolation that a lot of folks have had. Mental wellness has become really, really important. One thing to call out, and if I may dare say a silver lining of the past 2 years, is that wellness is top of mind for a lot of people and is more important than ever before. 78% of those who responded said that wellness is really, really important and more so than before, which is great. The other thing that we're also hearing from these consumers is, again, that mental wellness is the most important thing. 43% of people mentioned that they work out because it helps them mentally, right? And it is interesting. We talk about, well, we named Mindbody, the company, and the thinking has always been your mental state impacts your physical well-being as well. Hey, if you're not feeling good, you're not in a good mental state, it manifests itself in physical ailments. Well, the opposite is true as well, right? There is a body-mind connection where if you take care of yourself and you're working out and and you're releasing endorphins, in your brain, that actually improves your mood. It improves the way you think about yourself, how you view yourself. So mental wellness is getting prioritized much higher, which is something that we need to internalize. I would like to think that the pandemic is in the rearview mirror, but I think we all know that it's still here. Though I'm an optimist, I would like to believe that we are in the final innings. And what we're hearing from consumers is that it is continuing to have a big negative impact on them overall. 50% said that it's continuing to negatively impact their mental well-being. 42% said that it's negatively impacting their weight. And 40% said it's negatively impacting their overall physical health, right? So it's still here. It hasn't gone. I'm optimistic that things are going to turn around, and that 78% of people who are saying that wellness is even more important than before, that is going to result in a lot more people, a lot more new consumers entering the industry. So I'm optimistic, but this is still our reality. 77% of consumers say being physically active helps their mental health. We talked about the mind-body connection and the body-mind connection. I think consumers are waking up to that reality as well. This data point in the bottom half of this slide was really eye-opening. And it talks about how the motivation for people exercising has changed dramatically from pre-pandemic times to now. 2019, the 3 primary reasons people gave for exercising, 1 was to control weight, 2 was to feel good, and then the 3rd reason was to live a long, healthy life, right? All good reasons, but the reasons have changed dramatically. In the latest study, what we heard, and this again underscores the focus on mental wellness, the top 2 are related to mental wellness. The number 1 reason, 43%, work out because it helps them reduce stress. The same number, 43%, work out because it helps them feel better mentally, right? And the 3rd reason is it helps them look better physically, right? But the top 2 reasons tied to mental wellness. So takeaway, what does this mean for us as an industry? One is we should tap into the deeper motivations that people have for working out, if you have a way to incorporate mindfulness into your overall offerings, I think that's always a good thing. And the other thing I would say is in your marketing material, in your other communications, highlighting the positive impact on mental health, I think is a really good thing to double down on, given what we're hearing back from consumers. Second trend, this isn't a new one. Gym intimidation continues to be a barrier. What's interesting though, is that the percentage of people who raise this as a significant issue has gone up. So close to 20% of people say that they feel too intimidated to go to a gym or a fitness studio right now. Now, we also asked them the question of what would make you less intimidated to go into a studio, into a gym? And 55% said getting in better shape first. This is the classic chicken and egg problem, right? It's like, I don't want to go to a gym because I don't feel good about the way I feel. And I'm not going to go in until I feel like I'm in better shape. Chicken and egg problem, right? 48% say if they saw people like themselves at the gym, because a lot of people have this mental image that folks who are at the gym are already like super fit, right? And they are the ones who are going to stand out or stick out, right? So that's another concern. And then the other thing that would make them less intimidated is seeing more diverse populations at the gym or the studio. Okay, so that's what we're hearing. So what does that mean for us? So the thing that we could do that will help assuage this concern in a tangible way is to broaden the marketing material, how you communicate, showing more a diverse population in your content, and then also having like targeted programs or approaches for those who are new, paying that extra attention to those who are new, making sure that these concerns that they talked about are getting addressed, making them feel more welcome. I think those are really, really important things that we could do to make sure that we help them get past their gym intimidation. Third trend, variety can be a differentiator. I think this is just a part of the human condition. We like variety, right? So I live in the Bay Area, and I was thinking about this morning. When we have out-of-towners come to visit, and we haven't had that in a while with the pandemic, but when they did, I remember taking them and showing them the sites, right? We'd take them to Golden Gate Bridge and all these other places. And I remember the first time I saw the Golden Gate Bridge and just being in awe, right? And taking the Highway 1 drive. I don't know how many of you have done that, but it's beautiful, spectacular cliffs and the ocean on the right. And you're just driving right by all that. And the first few times just being in awe, right? And now I have out-of-towners come in and it doesn't feel that way anymore. Oh, here's the Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, here's Highway 1. You get used to it, right? So variety is a differentiator and people want it. People want variety. In fact, over 2/3 of people said that they would prefer a studio or a gym where there is a variety of workouts. They don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. So keeping things fresh, mixing it up, that's what consumers are telling us they want. Now, variety can be extended to go broader as well. It's not just about, let's say you're a yoga studio. It's not just about having, a yoga class that's different, but it's also about expanding the treatments that you provide, right? So there's a lot of focus on immunity health, right? So 46%, and immunity health has become a key topic, especially with the pandemic. So there are things that we could all be considering. So I've been doing cryo a lot, right? And that helps with improving your immunity health. I've also been to salt caves. There's, red light therapy, all things that I've tried. So the consumers are asking for that type of stuff, right? So that's one thing to consider. The other thing to consider is what we call intellectual wellness. So these are things where you're learning new skills, you're tapping into your creativity. So it's meditation, it's coloring, it's pottery. Now, depending on the type of business, you can think about how you can expand. Not all of these apply to everyone, but there is an opportunity to think about how do you expand the services that you offer. So you can tap into that interest in immunity health, tap into consumers saying, They want variety. So takeaways, think about how you can expand your offerings. Think about how to build your community. And I've seen like yoga studios actually broaden their offerings and actually have like book clubs and inviting guests to come and talk about different topics and really bringing people together and creating a strong sense of community built around learning and wellness. So that I think is a great opportunity that all of us should be considering. Recovery services, a lot of focus on this. There was a time where, again, wellness translated to just working out, right? Then it expanded to, hey, it's your diet as well. And recovery is reaching the same status. It's starting to be viewed at that same level. What we're hearing from consumers is 44% say that recovery is just as important as they work out. So things that we could consider, one is, can you offer recovery services within your business already? Hey, a special stretching class, cryo, maybe a sports massage. There's lots of things that you could be thinking of. Other thing that you could think of is also like a referral partnership, right? So if you have a sister concern or somebody that you partner with, maybe there's this partnership opportunity that you could be considering as well. But recovery, focusing on that, consumers are asking for it. Virtual, still a strong acquisition and retention tool. What we saw during the early days of the pandemic is there was this big spike in interest in virtual, and that did drop off. It did start dropping off with Zoom fatigue, and all that is true, but it has also reached a steady state. So it's not something which we could say, hey, that was 21 and we're just gonna pull back. That would be the wrong approach. It has reached a steady state and consumers want it, they're asking for it. Other benefit is virtual is a great avenue for consumers to try a new class type. We talked about gym intimidation, personal experience, dance intimidation is a real thing as well. My wife loves to dance and she's been asking me to take a bachata class with her. And I kept telling her, no, I'm not interested, or I've come up with some lame excuses. And she finally figured out the way to get me to try. She said, hey, there's a virtual class. And we ended up taking it at home, and it wasn't as embarrassing as I thought it was going to be. So I said, sure, let's take an actual class in person. And the same thing applies to wellness as well. 35% of consumers said that in-person class they took was something they first discovered through virtual. So a great way to get net new clients in through the door. Other data point that we got as part of the study is that 25% of people who participate in virtual workouts do it with the gym that they currently attend. To me, this is a opportunity. People want to take classes where they already have a relationship, where they know the instructors, where they know the other attendees. This 25%, we should shoot to get that to 100%, right? And to me, this is an opportunity. So key takeaways, please don't pull back from virtual. I think that's the main takeaway. If you're already doing it, continue to focus on how you can make it better, more engaging as a way to attract net new clients in. And if you've pulled back or you never did it, please consider starting it up. It's a great way to expand your reach. It's a great way to bring net new clients in as well. Okay, so those were the highlights from the study that I wanted to share with everyone. With that, I'm going to hit pause on sharing. And I want to open this up to a broader conversation with our panelists. So Garrett, Teresa, Leah, are you ready? All right, great, let's do it. So I'm going to throw a question just out there to all three of you. And the question is, we talked a lot about consumers asking for variety, asking for recovery, and how the definition of wellness is expanding. So I'd love to hear from you on what you've seen businesses do to expand their definition of wellness, the services that they provide. What have you done? What has worked? And what are the tips that you would share more broadly?
I'll take this one first, I think. We've been able to look into a lot of the other services that we had to offer at our location. And I do a lot of coaching consulting with a lot of other locations also. And it really just depended on getting into something that you could offer a little bit more virtually, selling products, doing other services other than your main aspect, especially when all of our gyms got shut down and we've been going through different phases of our business where we had to be reduced, masked up, all these other aspects. We really had to lean into first virtual and then hybrid and then other services that we could bring in and try to find other revenue sources that are good for our bottom line, but are also better for our patients, where we kind of leaned into partnering with other types of services, whether it's massage, IV therapy, those types of things, to really build a better holistic wellness community.
Great. Teresa, how about you?
I've seen people add a lot of different types of modalities. I've seen businesses add nutrition services, online coaching, customized personal training programming. I've seen them add in massage therapy or physical therapy, new workout types. So expanding a little bit, maybe a yoga studio, adding aerial yoga classes, things like that. Another thing I've seen pop up a lot lately is businesses offering combination classes. So a spin studio offering classes that are 30 minutes of spin and 30 minutes of yoga, or a Legree studio offering a class that's 30 minutes Legree Pilates and then 30 minutes HIIT class. So I've seen a lot of combinations like that pop up too. And you know, there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of different combinations that you can come up with.
Awesome. Leah, your experiences here?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like, at least as far as our brand, variety is what we've always been about. Even, before the pandemic, I mean, we have, more than one format that runs from our studio. But really what we saw, especially folks coming back to the gym, everyone has basically changed, their schedules. And so where we found variety, we've really stuck with our bread and butter, but we've needed to tweak things as far as maybe the length of workouts. So offering, 30-minute workouts, offering 45-minute formats, things like that, to fit more into what people are doing now. So, variety, I would just say, if for folks are looking for ways to create variety, it's not always just in what more can I add as far as modality, but look at length of workouts and time of day. And there's a lot of different things that can fall within that variety category, if you will.
That's a really good ad, Leah. So one question, again, I'll throw it open to all three of you, is when you looked at adding more variety, right? Whether it was massage or whatever, how did you make that decision? How did you figure out, hey, this is a good adjacency to what I already do, versus, hey, this other thing, yeah, that's not a good fit? How do you make that? How did you make that decision?
All right, I'll go. A couple different things. One is we looked at what tools do we have at our hands right now that we can use for multiple services. So if we already had bikes for some other classes, but we wanted to now, hey, let's actually do more spin classes, we would be doing stuff like that, our exercise bands, the expertise that we had in our staff already. So it really, at the beginning, it was what resources do we have that we could just turn into other things, especially with stuff like health coaching and mindset. We went virtual with that right away and said, all right, all of our personal training staff, anybody who has any experience in this, let's start to lean into that, because we did feel that that was going to be very important. Later on, as this started to take on a longer role in our society, we started seeing what other businesses are in our area that are also struggling. Luckily for us, we had extra space. So first thing I did is I started reaching out, hey, how's your gym doing? Or how's your massage area doing? And if they're struggling, I'm like, hey, why don't we just team up and join forces here a little bit? Come rent space out of me. I'll share my list with you and do it that way. And then beyond that, if we couldn't do it that, then it's how do we give our options to our clients, just like you can give options to your clients, and really create some sort of a network in there to allow better communication, better services for our own clients as well as potential new clients.
Great, thank you. And I think that actually was the answer to a question that somebody posed in the Q&A, which is how do I go about deciding what kind of modality to add to my business offering? So thank you, Garrett. Leah, question for you.
Yeah,
How
sure.
How do you incorporate deeper motivations to working out into your messaging?
Well, and I thought the information that you had provided, I think some of that is really staggering as far as how the shifts have come, especially post-pandemic. It's something I'd like to share with my team as far as marketing goes, because I think there even needs to be a shift that we need to do more, to make sure that we are answering that. With that said, I think, again, with what we offer as far as boxing, this is going to sound a little funny, but as far as, really nailing the mental benefits, with us offering like a boxing format, who doesn't want to hit something. So added value as a therapy session that you get, with our boxing format. We have always kind of joked about that, with our customers. So anyway, yeah, that's great info. And I do want to piggyback off really what Garrett was saying as far as picking different modalities and everything. I will tell you, one of the ways that we have found the biggest, value in getting the answers that we want to some of these burning questions is actually ask your customers. So we'll form, panels of our ideal member focus groups, things like that. And we pose these questions directly to them. What do they want to see? And so for me, that has really, squelched, us hitting our head against the wall. Sometimes it's like, hey, let's hear what they have to say. So I would encourage you guys to do that.
Leah, that's simple but brilliant. Ask your existing clients, right? It's they're the best resource. Even in the tech world, there's something called customer-driven innovation, which basically says, hey, instead of you going and sitting in a room and then coming up with this amazing idea, a better way to do that, and a chance that, or an idea which probably has a better chance of success, is working closely with your customers and figuring out where they're at, what they're trying to solve, and then iterating on ideas with them till you find the right solve. So that's brilliant. Thank you for sharing that. So we'll stay with you, Leah, for one more. So I know Regimen offers a high intensity workout. How do you get past the gym intimidation concern? How do you get
I'll tell you that's very real in my world, because honestly, a lot of the photos and things like that, especially of our studio, sometimes does come across as intimidating with the low lights and the loud music and just, the way that it comes across. What we really try to do is break down those barriers, honestly, by our customer intake process. So we use Mindbody marketing suite, where we have automations built out so that when someone does inquire about us, whether their journey is just a lead or even, for our, new customers and missed guests, if you will, there's always something that we're adding as far as educating them about who we are, what they should experience, and then delivering extra value as well. So, maybe on something else that they need that is, whether it be, recovery, a healthy recipe, what have you. Not only that, as far as messaging going out that way, but as soon as they walk into our studios, it's a very orchestrated if you will, intake of, how that goes down as far as the discovery process with one of our client specialists, how they pass that person off to a coach, the coach making sure that they, go over any injuries or anything, absolutely letting them know what they're about to go through as far as the workout. So we do a lot of hand holding, and not to mention our workouts are supported by movement screens. So that helps as far as them seeing what they need to be doing throughout the workout. And then our heart rate monitoring helps them know their level of intensity. So again, that's one of those things I will tell you as far as customer experience goes. We've reached out, to our focus groups that we pull together quarterly and just ask them, what was the intimidating parts? And I will tell you one thing to really think about when it comes to marketing. And I thought this was something that I was like, wow, I never thought about that. It's not necessarily just the messaging that you put out as far as on social, on your website, and all of that stuff. Absolutely super duper important how that is put out there. But what is the messaging that your members are putting out there? So a very quick example is on social media, they get for our members, they get an email of like how intense their workout was and their calories burned and all that stuff. Well, everything that our members were putting out was like, whoa, got my butt kicked, oh, so intense, blah, blah, blah. So in our customer group, it was just kind of like, it's not really your marketing that's intimidating. It's the messaging that's coming from the members. And I just thought that was so enlightening. So how do we change that? And what education do we provide so that they can kind of turn that down a notch and pull out some of the other benefits of the workout, so that people aren't intimidated.
So that's super interesting. So how did you change what message your customers were putting out?
Well, I think one of the things that we're really big on that didn't necessarily shine through within our marketing was our great community and how everyone is a super duper, supportive of each other from within. So one of the things that we did is we actually assigned also, this was one of the things that came out of it, signed like really ambassadors, if you will, members that have been with us for a while that could do a little hand holding on their own when someone new came in. So, just making sure that they got that welcome and everything. But then going back to your question, just making sure that our marketing is trending more towards some, the community side of things.
Teresa, I have a question for you. So how have your clients used virtual as an acquisition tool?
In order to use virtual as an acquisition tool and in order for it to be sustainable, it's important to have a strong online and social media presence. So that's one important piece and one way that it can be used as an acquisition tool. You can reach more people virtually sometimes than you can with brick and mortar, right? So as you had mentioned earlier, a lot of people are going to join virtually with a studio or business that they already are familiar with, but you can still reach people that haven't been to your brick and mortar yet, social with virtual. And so as with brick and mortar, an important aspect is an irresistible intro offer with live stream and video on demand programs. And so that can be a really powerful acquisition tool. Once people feel a little bit comfortable with those virtual offerings, then they may feel, as you mentioned earlier, more comfortable to come into the brick and mortar and expand their horizons with different offerings that your business has.
Awesome. And can you talk about clients of yours who've made virtual an ongoing part of their revenue stream?
Sure. you can get really creative with the way that you can build virtual offerings into your business. Offering live stream classes and video on demand classes, and workshops. They can be one-time workshops as well. They don't have to be a regular weekly class offering. And so you can also have one-on-one sessions virtually. So private training, private Pilates sessions, private yoga sessions, all of that can be done virtually. And so you can build some of these programs into your repertoire that you currently offer. A lot of studios it started with the pandemic and they continue to offer hybrid classes and sessions so that the client can choose if their lives are busy or if someone's sick and they need to quarantine, they can choose a virtual appointment or class. And then if they want to come into the studio, they can choose in person. And the nice thing about virtual, I mentioned you can get creative. You can get really creative because you can film these instructive classes from anywhere. So if you have a studio, you can offer cooking classes. You don't have a kitchen in your brick and mortar, but you can go to a different location to film a different type of class like that. So you can make your business more holistic by offering a whole variety of different types of classes that play into wellness and overall fitness.
Very nice. Thank you. So Garrett, back to you. So we talked about variety, right? And consumers are saying they want variety. And it sounds like you offer a lot of different services. How do you attract these variety seekers to your business? And how do you find them? And how do you attract them?
One of the reasons is, what are they looking for? I mean, even in some of the statistics you had, people are looking for variety. Mm-hmm. And we are going out of our way to tell them that really when looking at your mental and physical health, you need to be looking at that as a whole picture. And when we go out, we can bring people in and say, great, if you want to do weight loss or if you want to gain better muscle mass, it's not just about working out. It's about looking at your nutrition. It's about looking at maybe taking some more yoga or Pilates classes to augment what you're trying to do in the gym, but then also look at your hormones. What are those doing? And then if you have any pain in your body, how is that interacting with it? So it's health and fitness and wellness is a very complicated issue, and just trying to go at it with one aspect isn't going to get you normally to where you want to be in the end. So it's important to be able to incorporate multiple different options. And for some of our locations that don't have the ability to offer a lot of different services, that's when we're teaching them how to create that community in their business community to make sure that that is happening and create those partnerships. But overall, it is telling them and inviting them to come in and learn what real wellness can really be about.
Got it. So let's talk about recovery for a couple of minutes. We talked about how in the survey, a lot of folks are viewing recovery just at the same level as working out and diet. And I think that number is going to keep going up. So what services do you offer for recovery today? Garrett, maybe we can start with you, and I'd love to hear from Leah and Teresa as well on what they're seeing.
Sure. For recovery, we offer actually a couple different classes that are made to help with recovery, and some of those are going to be more of our relaxing classes, but then making sure that we're offering things like therapeutic massage guns, introducing them to things like physical therapy, IV nutrition, cryotherapy, those types of aspects. And one of the great things is we make sure that all of our clients also download things like ClassPass, and we can encourage them to say, hey, there's a great client right down the street you should be trying with this type of modality. That's going to really help you recover when these other things aren't doing the best that they can. So we'd love to highlight other people's services also. to make sure that they have those options. And this kind of gets back to that question you had before, but the recovery option is really crucial in that. And we're not going to have all the solutions. So we want to make sure that they have a wide variety, because the last thing is not everything that we do works for all of our clients. Sometimes they do need that extra help. Maybe it's higher end nutritional help. Maybe it's higher end IV help. Those types of things are good to have resources for your current clients.
Nice. And Garrett, you mentioned cryo. So is that a service you offer in your facility today?
We do not offer it currently. Right now, we do have a referral partner. That is about 3 modalities down the road for us to add.
Got it. Man, sounds like you're ready. You have a list you're going after. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Teresa, how about you? Recovery. What are you seeing with your clients?
I think this was kind of touched on a little bit, where a lot of people offer some recovery type modalities and services, but they may not be necessarily marketed as such. And so maybe changing marketing a little bit is what a lot of businesses can focus on, because they may already offer stretching or yoga or meditation. And as Garrett mentioned, cross-promoting with other businesses is really great. And then also within your own business. So if you're a yoga studio and massage center, cross-promoting your services. So promoting massage services to your yoga clients and vice versa. And honing in on that recovery and mental health message with those services.
Great. And Leah?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, with our business model, we're hard-hitting workouts, so we are always preaching recovery. So, having partnerships within, our local area where we can definitely tout what they do and why our customers need it. We work hand in hand with them, as well as bring in certain clinics and things like that our folks may want to see just a little bit different. So we'll bring in a yoga instructor to maybe offer some yoga. We do offer massage guns as well, as far as part of our retail. And then we actually do have a sister company that we're growing as well in the franchise market, called the Covery Wellness Spa. So recovery is not something that is necessarily new to us. We're putting it just underneath another roof, if you will. As far as a lot of the modalities that we see as of benefit, and most of them, mentioned here as far as, needs. Yeah.
Got it. Hey, one quick call out for the attendees. If you have questions, please go ahead and post them in the Q&A widget. And I see a question that I'm just going to weave it in, and I like this one. So we talked about adding variety and adding modalities. And the question is, how do I avoid confusing my clients or diluting my brand as I diversify my business? Your thoughts on that?
I think it comes down to reinforcing your overall brand is always going to be important. And then once they're inside the door, kind of introducing some of these other services. But when you're putting out marketing efforts, when you've got your workers and your employees out in the community talking, you have to have a very strong sense of what your business is. Of course, we've got tons of different modalities here, but when we go out, we talk about combining medical fitness, non-surgical orthopedics, and functional medicine. But we still have physical therapy, regenerative aesthetics, supplementation, IV therapy, all these other things. But those things we'll market that like 10 to 15%. 85% of what we market, though, has to be what our root business is and what we want people to know us for.
That's really smart. Thank you. And one other question is, and Garrett, you mentioned referral partners a few times. Right, and Leah, it sounds like hey, you have a sister brand, so there's some cross-pollination that happens there. So Garrett, for you, how do you find these referral partners? Is it just through your network, or do you have like a system? How do you find these folks?
Absolutely. We want to look at kind of what Leo was saying is we listen to what our clients like and want and do surveys about what they're looking for. And then if we know those types of things, then we will go out in our community and see who has that available. But one of the strategies that we have at all of our locations and we teach to all of our networks is being part of the community is very important. Business networking, being part of the chamber, those types of things. And we just want to create people that we believe in what they do. As long as they believe in what we do, we create referral partners that way. Mm-hmm. And then the other one is, just like I mentioned a little bit earlier, is using things like ClassPass to make sure that we know of deals that are happening out there that we can recommend to our clients and our patients, and really just try to push some of our clients into these other businesses, because that actually helps us backwards. Because if we can start saying we're sending all these clients your way, even if it's to a salon just down the street, that salon's going to start learning about our services and then start preaching about our services to their current clients.
Great. Leah, Teresa, anything to add to that?
I was going to mention earlier, I agree with Leah and Garrett in talking to some of your current clients and some of your top clients to form focus groups and so on. Your big spender report in Mindbody is a great way to find those people. Because it is true that in most businesses, 20% of your clients will be generating 80% of your revenue. And so that big spenders report is a great way to start identifying these people, because some of them will be quiet and you might have to call them out a little bit. The big loud people aren't always your top clients. And so I just wanted to point that out too. It's a great resource.
Thank you. So I had a more general question, which is, what are you most looking forward to in 22?
Success.
I like that.
For our company, we fared all right. I think right now we're all feeling another wave of everything. Talking to the Mindbody One group and stuff like that, a lot of people are feeling 2022 is not off to a great start. But I really do feel that we're going to see more and more success in 22. Once this first initial wave gets through, it just seems like we're all done with it, hopefully. But overall, 2022, I do think is going to bring overall success for most of the brands that are able to keep at it, put in the effort, and maximize on where their potential lies, and work with other companies. And even inside the Mindbody One groups, in your networking groups, use yourselves as resources to see where you can improve, where you can bring new services in, and those types of things.
Yeah. Leah, how about you?
Gosh, what am I looking forward to in 2022? Well, right now, since it's freezing in Florida, I'm looking forward to warm weather. And I'm also looking forward to seeing some of those dance moves that you learned through the virtual workouts that you took. So I think we have like 10 minutes left. So, if there's time remaining, you can share with us. No, but I really echo what Garrett is saying. I'm looking forward to hopefully, 2022 really ramping up the way that I'm very much I'm very positive person, ramping up. I don't feel like we've gotten the send off that we thought we would at first, but as Q1 and we enter Q2, I'm hoping to see more of a surge towards success. I think it's there. I think it's definitely there. With the one question that we had earlier about, how do I make sure that I don't dilute, who I am? My answer to that is don't. And I think in times like these, when we're all a little bit desperate, we're not necessarily seeing the bottom line the way that we would like it to see it nice and full. Don't compromise who you are. So when you're looking at bringing on different modalities and things like that, you really have to come to the table with your mission, sit there, even if you have to write it down and make sure it's right in front of you. And any ideas that come your way, is it a compliment to what you do and who you are? Does it elevate you and who you are? I think that's something that I like to pass along to everyone. And the example I always use is if I'm Chick-fil-A, I do chicken very, very well, right? I know that, I don't know, Pizza Hut does pizza super duper well. Well, that's great for Pizza Hut. Keep being Pizza Hut. But guess what? I'm Chick-fil-A and I'm just going to keep making chicken, right? So just stay your course. We'll get there.
Thank you. Teresa?
As far as what to look forward to, I'm in alignment with both Leah and Garrett. I'm optimistic, so I'm excited to see new growth. And as you presented earlier with the deck, there are new trends, but people are interested in fitness right now. And so if they haven't already incorporated things into their weekly activities in 2022, they will, I think, in the near future. And so, you talked about gym intimidation and things like that, but I'm also seeing that people are more willing to try new things a lot of times too, because everything has changed. It's shifted all of our thinking so much. And so I think that while there still are some gym intimidation barriers, I think that some barriers have been removed, and I'm excited to see the growth into 2022.
Awesome. What I heard from all three of you was optimism, and Garrett, to your point around wanting more success and looking forward to more success, I feel the same way. Right, I do feel very optimistic about 22 being a very strong year for the industry and for all of us. So it was great to hear that from all of you. So I just want to close this segment by saying, Teresa, Garrett, Leah, thank you so much. It's so easy for folks who've had success to go, hey, I'm not going to share this with anyone. And you're the opposite. You're sharing all your learnings and tips with the broader community. And for that, I say thank you again. All right, so I had a few other things I wanted to cover before we wrap. Give me a moment. We go back to, where is that? Here we go. So a few other resources I wanted to share with everyone who's here. So when we talked about this trend of seeking more variety, there are a couple of things on the Mindbody side that I want you to be aware of that will help. One is the Mindbody Capital feature, which allows you to raise capital that you can use for investing in new equipment. Garrett, if you want to add another add a cryo chamber or something, these are things that you could use this capital for. So that's something that's there. And you also heard ClassPass being mentioned a few times. It's a great way to get new consumers who are strongly oriented towards variety into your business. On the gym intimidation side or dance intimidation, virtual wellness platform, it's something that we put out a couple of years ago. That's available for all of you to use. It's tightly integrated into your core platform. And then there's the marketing suite, which again, we heard references to. Great way to stay in touch with your clients and share critical information and keep them motivated and engaged. So just want you to keep these in mind. And other thing I wanted to call out is there is going to be more detailed content on the survey that we did that's going to go out. What I shared was a very short summary. There's a lot of deep data that's there, and the team's going to be publishing that over the next couple of weeks. So there's more coming there. And one other thing is, I truly believe in the power of the community. We are better together and stronger together. And just like this, getting to hear from other industry experts, there is a opportunity to continue that. There is a Mindbody One coffee chat that's coming up on the 27th. So please make sure to sign up for that as well. So that was everything that we wanted to cover in this segment with 4 minutes to spare. So let me just take a quick look at the Q&A widget, see if there's anything that we missed. I think we've covered all of them. And I think with that, it's a wrap. Teresa, Garrett, Leah, again, thank you so much. And for all the attendees, thank you for your time as well. Have a great day. Bye.